Jealousy is a very hard emotion for a lot of us to overcome. I think there's a lot of levels when it comes to jealousy, whether it's financial and money, material things like possessions, someone has a greater lifestyle, or that's how it seems to be. Someone looks a certain way and attracts all the guys or gals, whatever it is. Even the slightest form of envy, like competitiveness, like someone's always going to be more talented, better at this thing than you are, that you're deeply passionate about. We can go macro or micro here. Here's a couple mental crutches or mental concepts, if you will, and we'll be going over every single nuance that, by and by, I'm pretty sure will help you get rid of the jealousy, and they've helped me immensely. Now, jealousy is one of those things that will crop up every once in a while. It's an emotion. Emotions are innate in us, but how you interpret that jealousy is what matters. Now, speaking as a friend here, my worst fear for you is that you get trapped in the poisonous side of jealousy, which I'm going to try my best to pull you out of and drag you with me to the side to instead see the lighter side of that emotion. Because it can be interpreted in a positive fashion, which then leads you to making more healthy changes in your life. Because their strengths, i.e., your competitors, the people you see successful at that thing you want, reveal to us our weaknesses, and they should be looked at as a worthy rival. And the very fact that you know that you're jealous, and I'm just going to assume that because you clicked on this video, but the very fact that you know that you're jealous and you're self-aware about that is great, because it tells me that you know you're capable of more, and you want to change. And the good news is, you absolutely can. But it takes a willingness to stare nakedly in your inadequacies and to realize you're not good enough. Yet. But you can be, if you're willing to put in the work. And you should know that, and the very fact that other people are able to achieve it proves that it's possible. So you should be happy. You want to know why? Because it's a sign that it's possible. And if you're working on that exact same thing, it's a sign it's coming your way. You have to know you'll get yours too. Now, this leans towards more for work life or developing certain skill sets. I just realized that. Arguably the one I had to struggle with most, I should say. But ever since I've adopted that framing and mindset, I've hardly ever been jealous in any way, shape, or form. And in those rare moments I do, I troubleshoot my thoughts and go, huh. And it's become a habit. It's second nature. I take it into inspiration and, in a sub-second, find the good in it. Now, let's talk about jealousy when it comes to social media and things like that. I might come across a little ignorant in a way that I may not fully sympathize with you very well if you struggle with jealousy from people or things on the internet. Side note, haven't been on social platforms except for YouTube for over a year now. I take pride on that. Forgive me, but maybe let's start with that. Maybe you should take a break. Do a social media detox for a week. See how that works. I just have to be honest from the get. It just doesn't come very natural to me. You're essentially seeing highlight reels. So, of course, we want to post about the good food we're eating. Of course, we want to post about our extravagant vacation or that we're flying first class. But here's what I want you to note down. You lose inspiration due to negative thoughts. That's all that's happening. And the first thing to understand is that these people you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. What that means is that people can show you their successes, but they won't show you their struggle, the reality of their life, and what it takes to get there. We all have hard lives. We all have hard things we go through that other people just won't understand. So I'm glad I brought up earlier how you see others and your perspective can drastically change how you feel, the framing you have. Because jealousy can be this poisonous emotion, and at the end of the day, if you're jealous and bitter, and especially if you don't do anything about it, you're no better off. You're unhappy, and the person you're jealous of is still successful or good looking or whatever they are. But understand that you can't just cherry pick and choose little aspects of their lives. You can't just scroll through your newsfeed or contacts and say, oh, I want her followers. I want his body. I want his money. You have to be that person. Do you want to actually be that person with all their responsibilities, their job, their family, their exact lifestyle, including the bad stuff, and their self image. And if you're not willing to, for the rest of your life, do a 100% swap with who that person is, then there's no point in being jealous. And once I came to that realization, jealousy sort of faded away because I'm perfectly fine being me. I don't want to be anybody else. And by the way, even that is under your control, right? To choose to be happy. So let's wrap things up. I don't want you to shrink when somebody else is doing something that is similar to what you want to do. Yes, you might get triggered. Yes, your confidence will get jarred. Yes, it's easy to look at what everybody else is doing and then look at yourself and say, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I don't have enough. Here's the thing. You're not in the same race. You're only ever running against yourself. Comparison is the worst things we can do to ourselves because we'll always come up short. All it does is exaggerate all of our insecurities. Enjoy other people's success. Let them live their lives, and you live your life. The joy comes not through comparison, but through advancement. All the answers are in you. You just gotta find them. And I firmly believe if you take this advice to heart and show up as yourself, and you have the courage to pursue the things that matter to you, you will find success. And you're just gonna think, why exactly was I comparing myself to somebody else? That doesn't actually make sense. Like, if I want to go do what they're doing, then I should just go and do what they're doing. But I shouldn't base my happiness or whether or not I think I'm succeeding based on apples to oranges. So you need to decide what's important to you. And I highly encourage you base that on fulfillment. And if you feel unfulfilled, you need to change the game you're playing in life and pick a new direction and go towards what makes you feel more alive instead. That is insanely important. And I just might end the video right here because I feel to my core I'm about to ramble into different topics now. With that being said, if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to leave a comment and check out my playlist. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. You won't regret it. But I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace and love.